So I'm opposed to this bill for the following reasons. It has nothing to do with its proclaimed objective of improving the quality of regulation. Its true goal is to further embed neoliberalism. The bill will entrench and extend the inequality that has always existed within the colonial state by allowing the wealthy even greater freedom to maximise their prosperity without regard for the social, economic or environmental consequences. By forcing policymakers to justify honouring Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the bill will create a default setting of non-compliance with Te Tiriti. It will establish what has aptly been referred to as an anti-Waitangi tribunal, a regulatory standards board of unqualified, unrepresentative, unaccountable and self-interested corporate elites handpicked by the Minister to ensure conformity with neoliberal anti-treaty principles. The process followed thus far, including this select committee charade, is in breach of Te Tiriti o Waitangi and of best regulatory standards. It is a classic case of what I call insultation, of staging a sham consultation exercise with no intention whatsoever of paying any heed to the feedback it generates. Now, the Minister's response to the tidal wave of opposition to this bill has been to launch into a frankly childish tirade about bot-generated and fake submissions, assertions for which no shred of evidence has been produced. In truth, opposition to this bill is coming from all quarters. It includes carefully articulated submissions that draw on an extensive range of expert knowledge and relevant experience. It covers a raft of concerns being thoughtfully expressed by real people who understand the detrimental impact that this bill will have on them and on the things they care about. The ACT Party is clearly wedded to its vision of an Aotearoa run by a clique of short-sighted, self-interested corporate elites who prioritise short-term profit over all else. The Minister and his minions are determined to ignore all expert advice as to the likely consequences of their actions. So there's clearly no point wasting my breath on ACT. For that reason, my remaining comments are directed solely towards ACT's coalition partners. When Ganesh Nana submitted on the Treaty Principles Bill, he asked whether there were any adults in the room who were willing to stand up and take responsibility. To the committee members from New Zealand First and the National Party, this is your opportunity to stand up. National Party members will know that your predecessors have not been afraid to curtail the behaviour of the willful ACT child on this issue. Various iterations of this bill have failed in the past because governments of all political stripes, including national, have rejected it. The ACT Party has gained a level of influence that is out of all proportion to the level of support it gained in the last general election. The National Party has lacked the backbone to stand up to its favoured coalition partner, appeasing it by entertaining its every whim, regardless of how ill-conceived or unpopular its proposals might be. National and New Zealand First currently face the spectre of this parliamentary term going down in history as the period when the ACT Party governed. As coalition partners, you have been completely upstaged, reduced to the role of chorus line in the ACT pantomime. It's now time to show that you're capable of stepping forward, playing your role as adults by rejecting this shameful bill in its entirety. Alternatively, you could strip the heart out of the bill before it's returned to the House for its second reading. You could do this by firstly removing the establishment of the Regulatory Standards Board, and secondly by removing the Clause 8 principles, replacing them with a set of principles that are modelled on current best practice for regulation. If not rejected outright, this bill should be returned to Parliament as an empty vessel. This would be a fitting end for the flagship proposal of a minister who has treated the views of the electorate, expert advice, his coalition partners and parliamentary processes with such overweening disdain. The time has come for the National Party and New Zealand First to reassert your identity as political parties in your own right, rather than being seen as mere enablers of ACT. Failure to step up will result in your forever being perceived as incompetent and impotent. History and the electorate will judge you accordingly. Tēnā koutou.